I'm Walter Hurd, and I teach yoga classes at the Danville Yoga and Wellness Center. And I've been teaching here for approximately 2.5 years, and I have 3 classes a week that I teach here. I've been practicing yoga for more than 40 years. I took my first yoga class in September of 1969 with the spiritual master Walt Baptiste at his yoga center in San Francisco. And I love teaching his style of yoga because it incorporates both breath with the yoga posture movements. And it's wonderful to teach this style of yoga because when people come in from the outside, they come in with the weight of the world on them sometimes, or they're very tired, or they're very anxious about something. And it's really a delight to watch them go through the yoga class, and with each posture and with each out breath, they let go just a little bit more of the outside world until finally by the end of the class, they are so peaceful inside, so in such a state of wonderful inner harmony that when they go to stand up, even their faces have changed and they're much softer and much happier with life in general. Yes, actually, I do have a workshop. It's 3 90-minute classes, and the title is How to Live a Spirit-Rich Life. Okay, so let me tell you a little bit about how this came about, because it really did start all the way back when I first started working for the guru, Walt Baptiste. And while I was working for him, he put me in the health food restaurant. I was one of his chefs. Okay. So when I was working for him behind the stove for 15 years, I came to understand that there were certain forces in life that were influencing me year after year after year while I was there. And to be honest, I thought it was part of being an adult, because this really was the very first real responsible job that I had. And so I thought it was naturally a part of being a responsible adult. But then after I began talking about these cycles to other people, I realized they didn't know what I was talking about, which was very interesting because it really was something that was interesting, but I didn't know anything about those cycles at all, cycles of influence, okay? So then, years later, I was reading about mythology, and I was reading Joseph Campbell's story conditions that must be in a myth in order to have a compelling force to it. And as I'm reading the 12 story conditions, and I get to maybe the 4th or 5th condition, I realize that metaphorically, the names of the conditions were naming the cycles that I experienced back at the stove, okay? So again, great, wonderful, exciting experience, but I still didn't understand what any of this was for, right? So then a few years, for maybe 2.5 years, I had this insatiable thirst to read certain kinds of books, which I read one after the other after the other. Books on leadership, books on psychology, books on mythology, over and over and over again. And then towards the end of that period, I came to take a break one day, sat down in a cafe, put my glass on the table and sat down. And as soon as I hit the seat, I had this amazing experience where all of the information that I had been exposed to came together in one cohesive whole. Not just that information, but I realized who I was, why I was here, what I was meant to do while I was here. I realized all of the principles and the nuances of the principle. All right, so that understanding is what I teach in these 3 90-minute classes, How to Live a